Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Phantom Vigil, her reflection barely visible against the starfield beyond the transparent metamaterial viewport. The massive warship, nearly 3 kilometers in length, hung invisible in high orbit above Mars, its quantum absorption hull making it undetectable to even the most advanced alien sensors. The year was 2157, and humanity had spent the last 4 decades crafting the greatest deception in galactic history. To the rest of the galaxy, Earth was a quaint backwater, still struggling with chemical rockets and basic ion drives. The truth, hidden in the shadows of the solar system, was far different. "Admiral," a quiet voice called from behind her. "The Galactic Council's delegation will be arriving at Luna Station in 6 hours. Lieutenant Commander James Rodriguez, her XO, approached with a datapad. "They're still buying our act. Their preliminary report describes Earth as charmingly primitive but showing promise." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Galactic Council's patronizing attitude had been humanity's greatest shield. After the devastating First Contact War with the Drachnid Empire in 2116, which humanity had barely survived, the decision was made. Never again would Earth reveal its true capabilities. When the more peaceful Galactic Council discovered Earth a decade later, they found only the carefully constructed ruins of that earlier conflict, leading them to believe humans were far less advanced than they truly were. "Status of the fleet?" Sarah asked, turning from the viewport. "The Black Armada remains undetected, Admiral. All 300 ships are in position throughout the solar system. The Phantom Vigil's sister ships are maintaining their patrol patterns in the Kuiper Belt. Strike groups Helios and Artemis are staged behind Jupiter's moons, and our newest vessel, the Night Wraith, has completed its shakedown cruise near Saturn." Sarah nodded, reviewing the fleet deployment on her neural interface. The Black Armada represented technological achievements that the Galactic Council believed impossible for primitive humans. Quantum absorption stealth systems, gravitic propulsion, dark energy weapons, and consciousness transfer backup systems for all crew members. The door to the observation deck slid open again, admitting Captain Maya Patel, head of strategic intelligence. "Admiral, we've detected unusual activity in the Proxima Centauri system. The Drachnid Empire is moving ships through neutral space, officially on training exercises." Sarah's expression hardened. The Drachnids had been suspiciously quiet since their failed invasion 4 decades ago. They knew humanity's true capabilities, but the Galactic Council had dismissed their warnings as warmongering propaganda. Now they were probing again, testing boundaries. "They're looking for our weakness," Sarah said, hoping we've grown soft under the Council's protection. "Maya, what's your assessment?" Captain Patel brought up a holographic tactical display. "The Drachnid fleet movements suggest they're preparing for a major operation. They've been studying our apparent technological level carefully, and I believe they're planning to expose us to the Council, either by provoking us into revealing our true capabilities, or by providing evidence of our deception." "They still don't understand," Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez said quietly. "We didn't hide our strength out of fear. We did it because the galaxy wasn't ready for what humanity had become." Sarah walked to the tactical display, studying the Drachnid movements. The First Contact War had taught humanity harsh lessons about survival in a hostile universe. While the Galactic Council preached peace and cooperation, humanity had seen the darkness between the stars. They knew that true safety came not from treaties and alliances, but from the ability to strike fear into the hearts of any who would threaten Earth. "Signal all fleet commanders," Sarah ordered. "Initiate Protocol Umbra. If the Drachnids want to expose us, we'll do it on our terms." She paused, looking at the faces of her officers. "For 40 years, we've hidden in the dark, building our strength, protecting humanity from the shadows. But shadows only exist because of light, and it's time to show the galaxy just how bright humanity's light can shine." Throughout the solar system, invisible ships acknowledged the order. The Black Armada, humanity's greatest secret, prepared to emerge from the void. The galaxy would soon learn why Earth had chosen to hide its power rather than display it, and why the Drachnid Empire still had nightmares about their first encounter with humanity. The time for deception was ending. The time for revelation was about to begin. Admiral Chen sat in her private quarters aboard the Phantom Vigil, reviewing classified footage from the First Contact War. The holographic display showed Earth's cities burning under Drachnid bombardment, a reminder of why humanity had chosen its path of secrecy and strength. Dr. Emily Zhang, the fleet's chief scientist, sat across from her. Together, they watched as the recording showed the turning point of the war, the moment humanity unveiled its first quantum absorption prototype, the desperate gamble that had saved Earth. The crude stealth ship, barely larger than a destroyer, had appeared from nowhere to deliver the killing blow to the Drachnid flagship. We learned more from that single battle than we had in a century of peaceful development, Emily said, her eyes reflecting the holographic flames. The Drachnids thought they were teaching us a lesson about galactic power. Instead, they taught us how to become something far more dangerous than they could imagine. Sarah nodded, remembering the aftermath. While the galaxy believed Earth had merely gotten lucky, surviving through desperate measures and Drachnid overconfidence, the truth was far different. The invasion had given humanity access to advanced alien technology, and more importantly, had shown them what they were truly capable of when pushed to the edge of extinction. "Show me Project Lazarus," Sarah commanded. The display shifted to show massive underground facilities beneath the lunar surface. Here, hidden from prying eyes, humanity had begun its greatest endeavor. The Drachnid invasion had revealed a terrifying truth. The galaxy was full of civilizations that saw younger species as nothing but resources to be exploited or threats to be eliminated. The Council never understood why we accepted their patronizing protection so easily, Emily said, bringing up technical specifications for the Black Armada's most classified technologies. They thought we were grateful. In reality, they were giving us exactly what we needed: time and privacy. The display showed the revolutionary breakthroughs that had followed: quantum entanglement drives that allowed ships to move without traditional propulsion, dark energy weapons that could bypass any known shielding, neural backup systems that made death itself merely an inconvenience for crew members. The Drachnids broke something in us that day, Sarah mused, something that could never be repaired. But from that broken trust came our greatest strength, the understanding that humanity could never afford to be vulnerable again. A gentle chime interrupted their discussion. "Admiral," Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez's voice came through the comm. "We're detecting increased Drachnid activity near Proxima Centauri. They're moving their fleet into attack positions." Sarah stood, her expression grim. "They're earlier than expected. Status of Protocol Umbra. All ships report ready, Admiral. The Council delegation is still conducting their inspection of Luna Station. They've seen exactly what we wanted them to see: outdated technology and eager to please humans." Emily gathered her data tablets, a hint of anticipation in her eyes. "The Drachnids think they're about to expose our deception to the galaxy. They don't realize they're about to help us reveal something far more significant." Sarah walked to her viewport, watching Earth rotate peacefully below. The planet showed no sign of the technological marvels hidden throughout the solar system. No indication of the quantum forges in Mercury's core, the antimatter facilities in Jupiter's atmosphere, or the consciousness backup arrays scattered through the asteroid belt. "Send word to all Black Armada vessels," Sarah ordered. "Prepare for synchronized decloaking. If the Drachnids want to show the galaxy what humanity has become, we'll give them exactly what they want, just not in the way they expect." Throughout the solar system, invisible ships acknowledged the order. Crews who had trained for years in absolute secrecy ran final checks on weapons that defied the laws of physics as understood by the Galactic Council. The Black Armada, humanity's sword in the darkness, prepared to step into the light. "The Council believes we're children," Sarah said quietly, "playing with simple toys while they watch over us. The Drachnids think we're prey that got lucky. Both of them are wrong. We're what happens when you force a species to choose between extinction and evolution, and we chose to evolve into something that would never need to fear the darkness between the stars again. Emily checked her final readings and headed for the door. "Shall I begin powering up the quantum core, Admiral?" Sarah nodded, her reflection in the viewport overlaying the distant stars. "Yes, it's time to show the galaxy why humanity chose to hide in the shadows. Not because we were weak, but because we became something strong enough to make the darkness itself fear us." The pieces were in place. The deception was ending. And in the void between worlds, humanity's hidden fleet prepared to demonstrate just how far they had come since that first, brutal contact with the galaxy beyond Earth. The Drachnid invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system, their massive warships casting long shadows across the void. Fleet Commander Vextar stood on his command bridge, mandibles clicking in anticipation. After 40 years, the Drachnid Empire would finally expose humanity's deception to the Galactic Council. "Status of the human colonies," he demanded. "3 settlements detected, Commander. Primitive defenses, minimal orbital infrastructure." "Exactly as intelligence reported," his sensor officer replied. Vextar's scales rippled with satisfaction. "Begin recording for the Council. They'll see exactly what these humans have been hiding." "Commander." His tactical officer's voice carried an edge of panic. "Multiple spatial distortions detected. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database." Space itself seemed to fold around the Drachnid fleet, where there had been empty void. Suddenly, there was death. The Black Armada decloaked in perfect synchronization, 300 ships of impossible darkness appearing in an attack formation that surrounded the Drachnid forces completely. Aboard the Phantom Vigil, Admiral Chen watched the tactical display with cold satisfaction. "All ships, this is Fleet Command. Execute Protocol Umbra. Phase 1. Show them what humanity has become." The Black Armada moved with impossible grace, their quantum drives allowing maneuvers that violated every known law of physics. Dark energy beams lanced out from their weapons arrays, passing through Drachnid shields as if they didn't exist. "Impossible." Vextar roared as his flagship systems began failing. Their technology. They couldn't have advanced this far. A transmission cut through all Drachnid frequencies. Admiral Chen's voice was calm, almost gentle. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Black Armada. For 40 years, you've believed us weak. For 40 years, we let you believe it. That ends today." The Phantom Vigil moved forward, its massive form dwarfing the Drachnid flagship. Across its hull, lines of dark energy pulsed with power that the Galactic Council had deemed impossible for centuries to come. "Send word to your empire," Sarah continued. "Humanity is done hiding, and to ensure our message is clear," she nodded to her weapons officer. Quantum torpedoes launched from the Black Armada ships, their warheads containing technology that shouldn't exist. They struck with surgical precision, disabling the Drachnid fleet's weapons and engines, while leaving life support intact. In lunar orbit, the Galactic Council delegation watched in stunned silence as their sensors registered the impossible battle, their patronizing inspection of Earth's primitive technology forgotten as they witnessed humanity's true power. By the ancestral light, the Council's senior observer whispered, "What have they become?" Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez monitored the battle from his station. "Drachnid fleet is neutralized, Admiral. No casualties on either side. Their ships are disabled, but their crews are unharmed." Sarah stood from her command chair, her voice carrying to both her fleet and their defeated enemies. For generations, the galaxy's powers have treated younger species as either resources or threats. Today, that changes. Humanity hid not out of fear, but because we saw what the galaxy truly was. We built not for war, but for survival. The quantum cores of the Black Armada pulsed in unison, a display of synchronized power that sent shivers through every alien sensor array. This was technology that should have been centuries beyond human capability. We could have revealed ourselves at any time. Sarah continued. We could have dominated, conquered, ruled. Instead, we waited, hidden in the darkness between stars, hoping the galaxy would learn to welcome its children rather than fear or exploit them. She approached the main viewport, watching as shuttles from the Black Armada began attaching quantum tethers to the disabled Drachnid ships. This is humanity's true face. Not the weak children you thought us to be, but guardians who chose to wait in darkness until we were needed. We will escort your ships back to Drachnid space. You will deliver our message. The age of predator species is over. Humanity stands ready to protect any civilization that faces extinction or exploitation. The Black Armada began moving in perfect formation, their quantum drives bending space itself as they prepared to escort their captives. Throughout the galaxy, sensors registered the impossible energy signatures. In every council chamber and imperial throne room, the message was clear. Humanity had emerged from the shadows, and the balance of power would never be the same. Aboard the Phantom Vigil, Sarah watched as her fleet executed maneuvers that defied physics as the galaxy understood it. Send word to Earth, she ordered. Tell them Operation Daybreak is complete. The eternal night is over. It's time for humanity to step into the light. As the Black Armada moved through space, their quantum absorption hulls now visible to all, they carried with them not just a defeated enemy, but a message written in technology and power. Humanity had hidden not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. And now that they had emerged, the galaxy would never be the same. The Galactic Council's emergency session erupted into chaos as the holographic displays showed the Black Armada escorting the disabled Drachnid fleet through hyperspace. Species that had considered humanity a primitive curiosity now watched in stunned silence as Earth's hidden fleet demonstrated technological mastery beyond their comprehension. In the Council Chamber's central podium, High Counselor Gentle of the Aurilan Confederation struggled to maintain order. The human delegation will explain this deception to the Council immediately. Earth's ambassador, Michael Santos, rose from his seat calmly. For decades, he had played the role of an eager, inexperienced diplomat. Now, he stood with the quiet confidence of one who no longer needed to pretend. High Counselor, we will explain everything. But first, I believe Admiral Chen has a message for the Council. The chamber's main holographic display flickered, and Sarah Chen's image appeared, transmitted in real time across impossible distances through quantum entanglement communications, another technology humanity had kept hidden. Honorable Council, Sarah began, her voice carrying the weight of authority that came from commanding the most advanced fleet in known space. For 40 years, you've watched Earth with benevolent condescension. You've guided us, protected us, treated us as children learning to walk among the stars. We accepted this treatment not out of gratitude, but because it served a greater purpose. The Phantom Vigil's quantum core pulsed, its energy signature registering on every sensor in Council space. What you're witnessing isn't just a revelation of technology. It's a demonstration of humanity's vision for the galaxy. The holographic display shifted, showing the Black Armada's true capabilities. Ships moving through quantum space without traditional engines, weapons that could disable the most powerful warships without casualties, defense systems that made their vessels virtually invulnerable. In the decades since the Drachnid invasion, we've watched how the galaxy's powers treat emerging civilizations. We've seen young species exploited, enslaved, or destroyed because they couldn't defend themselves. We decided that had to change. In the Council Chamber, representatives from dozens of species shifted uncomfortably. Many had participated in exactly the kind of exploitation Sarah described. The Black Armada wasn't built for conquest, Sarah continued. It was built to protect, to ensure that no other species would face what we faced when the Drachnids came. From this day forward, Earth stands ready to defend any emerging civilization from exploitation or extinction. The chamber erupted again, but this time with urgent communications as governments across the galaxy realized the implications. Humanity hadn't just hidden their advancement. They had created a force capable of reshaping the galactic order. Ambassador Santos stood again. The Council has always preached peace and cooperation. Now we offer you a choice. Join us in protecting the galaxy's younger species, or stand aside as we do it ourselves. On the Phantom Vigil's bridge, Sarah watched the Council's reaction through the quantum feed. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez approached with a status update. Admiral, we're receiving messages from 17 emerging civilizations requesting protection, and 3 of the Council's major powers have already signaled their willingness to support our initiative. Sarah nodded, watching as her fleet continued their escort of the Drachnid ships. The revelation of humanity's power was already reshaping alliances across the galaxy. But this was just the beginning. Humanity spent 4 decades in the shadows, she said to her crew. We use that time not just to advance our technology, but to understand our role in the galaxy. The strong shouldn't prey on the weak. They should protect them. Throughout the galaxy, sensors continued tracking the Black Armada's impossible movements through space. In hidden shipyards throughout the solar system, more quantum absorption ships were under construction. Earth had revealed its power not to dominate, but to defend. The Drachnid commander, Vexstar, watched from his disabled flagship as the human vessels moved with impossible precision. You could have conquered us at any time, he said over the comm channel to Sarah. Why wait? Why reveal yourselves now? Because conquest wasn't our goal, Sarah replied. We hid our strength not out of fear, but because we were waiting for the right moment to use it. The galaxy needed guardians, not conquerors. Today, humanity steps into that role. As the Black Armada continued its mission, the galaxy's power structures were already shifting. The age of predator species was ending. In its place, a new order was emerging, one where humanity's hidden strength would serve not to dominate, but to protect. The thunder in the void wasn't just the sound of humanity's emergence. It was the sound of the galaxy changing, as the species that had hidden in darkness stepped forward to become the light. 6 months after humanity's revelation, the galaxy had transformed. The Phantom Vigil hung in orbit above Centauri Prime, its quantum absorption hull now visible for all to see. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on her bridge, watching as ships from 30 different species gathered for the signing of the Guardian Accords. Status report, she called out, though her neural interface had already provided the information. Dr. Emily Zhang responded from her science station. The quantum network is online. Admiral, every signatory species now has access to our early warning system. If any emerging civilization faces threat, we'll know instantly. The past 6 months had seen humanity transition from hidden protector to open guardian. The Black Armada had expanded, with Earth sharing select technologies with trusted allies who joined their cause. Not weapons or stealth systems, those remained solely in human hands, but defensive capabilities and communication systems that would help protect the galaxy's youngest species. Message from Earth Command. Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez announced. The first class of the Interstellar Defense Academy has completed training. 26 species represented, all committed to the protection protocols. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Academy had been her idea, a way to share not just technology, but humanity's philosophy of protection over predation. The galaxy's power structure was evolving, with former aggressor species now joining Earth's initiative to protect emerging civilizations. A holographic window opened, showing Ambassador Santos at the Galactic Council. Admiral, the final signatures are being prepared. The Council has officially recognized Earth's role as primary guardian of emerging species. They're still struggling with the fact that we hid our capabilities for so long, but they can't argue with the results. Indeed, the results spoke for themselves. In the months since the Black Armada's revelation, attacks on developing civilizations had dropped to 0. The mere possibility of human intervention had changed the calculation for would-be conquerors. Incoming transmission from the Drachnid Empire, Rodriguez reported, surprise evident in his voice. The holographic display shifted to show Imperial Chancellor Vex Moore, who had replaced the hardline military leadership after the Black Armada's demonstration. Admiral Chen, the Chancellor, began. The Empire's delegation is approaching for the signing ceremony. We bring with us the records of our own first contact protocols, the ones we will never use again. Sarah nodded. The Drachnids' transformation had been unexpected but welcome. Their experience of humanity's power had led to a cultural shift, from conquerors to cautious allies. They weren't trusted yet, but they were changing. Multiple quantum signatures detected, the sensor officer reported. The Orlan fleet is arriving with representatives from the protected worlds. Through the viewport, Sarah watched as ships of all sizes and designs emerged from quantum space. Some were ancient and powerful, others new and still learning the ways of interstellar travel. All were here because humanity had chosen to step out of the shadows and into a new role. Dr. Zhang approached with a final update. The quantum core modifications are complete, Admiral. When the accords are signed, we can begin sharing the defensive grid protocols. Every signatory species will be connected, able to respond to threats against any emerging civilization. Sarah turned to her crew, seeing in their faces the pride of people who had carried a heavy secret for so long. We hid in darkness for 40 years, she said, not because we were afraid of the light, but because we were becoming something the galaxy had never seen before. Not an empire, not a confederation, but a guardian. The bridge crew watched as more ships arrived for the ceremony. The Black Armada vessels hung in formation around the gathering, their quantum absorption hulls now a symbol not of deception, but of protection. Admiral, Rodriguez called out, we're receiving a message from the Spheroid Collective. They're asking for asylum. Their leadership is willing to abandon their conquest protocols and join the Guardian Accords. Sarah shared a meaningful look with her officers. The spheroids had been among the galaxy's most aggressive species. Their request for asylum and change was proof that the new order was taking hold. Tell them they're welcome to attend, she replied. The shadow of fear is lifting from this galaxy. It's being replaced by something stronger, the light of protection and cooperation. As the signing ceremony began, quantum signals carried the event to every corner of known space. Species that had once hidden from the galaxy's predators watched as those same predators signed away their right to conquest, accepting humanity's new role as guardians of the weak. The Black Armada had emerged from shadow not to rule, but to protect. Humanity had hidden their strength not out of fear, but out of wisdom. And now, as the Guardian Accords were signed and a new age began, the galaxy understood at last what Earth had become in those quiet decades of preparation. Not just another empire seeking power, but something entirely new. A force for protection, a shield for the defenseless, a light in the darkness between stars. The new dawn had arrived, and with it, the promise of a galaxy where strength served not to conquer, but to preserve. Humanity's greatest deception had become its greatest gift to the cosmos, the promise that no species would ever again face the darkness alone.